Hello everybody and welcome to this edition of Jersey Shore Pondscapes videos. Today we're going to be doing a video on streams. Okay, so two additions we can make to our pond to really highlight something, right? Make an attraction to our pond is either a waterfall or a stream or riverbed. Now, streams or riverbeds can be short. They can be really long, right? You might want to start off someplace with an event, maybe a small waterfall or something a ways from the pond, and bring a stream or riverbed returning all the way to the pond. Maybe at the end it's just a little geyser, or maybe it just makes it look like it's coming out from underneath a tree or a big rock or something where the water's coming out of it, at the far end. So just make some sort of an event, something that's happening there where the water comes out, okay? The most important thing we need, obviously, is elevation, okay? We need a slope. We need the water to flow from wherever we're starting all the way back down to our pond. And when we get to our pond, we have to have a drop into our pond, all right? We want to make sure that the liner from the pond is up high enough that the water, from the water coming down your waterfall is going to drop down into the pond and the liner there, okay? Obviously, we can't take a pond liner from the side of our pond. If this is our pond and this is a shelf, here where our rock is in the pond and our water level is up here, we can't take this liner and just lay it down and bring another liner on top of it and go in, because all this water is just going to run right back and out, okay? Make sure we have a drop. My water level's here. Make sure I have this liner coming up and I can bring my stream liner over the top, down, and under here, okay? So that my pond water is here and my stream is dropping here, okay? Always keep that stream a little bit higher than the elevation of your pond when you're returning the water back in. Anytime you need to make a seam in that liner on your stream, say your stream is 30 feet long and every 10 feet you have to seam another piece of liner to it. Make sure at that seam we have that drop, okay? Make sure that one liner is coming in here, we're going up, and then we're going over, okay? And the new liner comes down that drop, and then comes, flat on top, overlaps the bottom liner. Just make sure that, again, this drop is higher than the elevation in the water here, okay? That's really important. And as long as you keep that in mind, and you can go as far as you want. So make some steps, in your stream as you come down. And it gives it some points of interest rather than just a flat riverbed, 30 feet away, having it come down, drop, come a little bit, little drop, come a little drop. Make it turn, twist a little bit. And don't make your riverbed straight and narrow, 3 feet across the entire way. Mix it up a little bit, right? Bring some sections a little wider. Put a big boulder on the side so the water hits that boulder and comes over. Make it look natural, okay? Again, don't just lay liner straight and do a straight stream in it, right? Make it snake a little bit. Make it come around. Put some big boulders in the way. I've done ponds where streams where I've gotten a couple wider spots where I've gone from 3-4 feet to maybe 5-6 feet wide. And in the middle of that wide section, I placed a couple big flat ones that work as like stepping stones if you wanted to cross the stream, okay? So, let's talk about constructing it real quick, okay? Now, for me, let's say, here's my stream, okay? I put my liner down. What I typically do is I will dig out the ground a little bit inside here where I want to put my liner. Just a couple inches, maybe 2-3 inches. I'll just dig a little bit so I have a little bit of a trough, okay? Again, this is all depending on your elevations and your drops and how you're going to work all that, but try to cut it out a little bit. And the reason why I say I cut it out is because then my liner comes up on the sides, okay? Now, depending on how much water you're pumping through this will determine how wide you can go on your stream. Obviously, the wider you go, the more water volume you need to fill it, okay? But also keep in mind that the narrower you go, the higher the water level comes up if you're pumping a lot of water, okay? If I have a section of stream that's 2 feet wide and then it bulges out to 5 feet wide, okay? And I'm pumping a good volume of water down this stream, that area where it's only 2 feet wide, my water might come up to here. But when it moves further down and it gets into the big wide open 5 foot wide, it might go from this level down to this level, okay? So keep that in mind. If you start choking off the water into narrow sections, the water in those sections is going to be higher. So make sure that that pond liner is high enough, okay? Now, what I see a lot in rivers and streams is basically people, you know, maybe they dig it out a little bit if they keep it round bottom, flat bottom, whatever. They dig it out a little, and then they put their liner in, and then they cover it all with river stone. All river stone, down across, maybe a couple boulders or bigger rocks, you know, set in place here and there. I hate that. First of all, just putting a liner down and filling it with gravel, half of the water that you're pumping down the stream is going through the gravel. You don't even see half that volume, okay? You're only seeing the volume that's on top of the gravel. The worst part of the whole thing is all that gravel holds all the sediment and sludge that we could be pumping through our pond. I have seen rivers and stream beds that are so caked up with sludge and mud and debris. It's ridiculous. I see stream beds with weeds growing out of it because it's just so full of mud and dirt and sludge. Okay? How you gonna clean that? All right? What a mess. What a mess. All right? You got to take all the rock out of that stream and wash it all down and clean the liner down. And where are you going to wash all this down? Where's it going to go? Into your pond. So now you got to drain the whole pond and clean the whole pond out and take your fish out and everything to clean the river. It gets to be a mess, okay? So what I do, and I'm going to show you here in all these pictures, you'll be able to see it pretty clearly. I dig down a couple inches, right? I dig a couple, like a little trough for my stream. I lay it all out, curve it around, and I put in my liner, okay? Then I'm mixing cement. I mix a nice layer of cement. I put a nice layer of cement on the bottom of my stream, okay? Keep in mind now, my liner's up a little bit on the sides, okay? I just take a wheelbarrow and I just dump that cement right in there. We want to spread it out, maybe just an inch thick, just like an inch layer, okay, is all we need. We're going to push some of that cement up the sides here, okay? And we're going to set our rocks right into that, right on the side. So not only do I have cement on the bottom, but the cement is coming up the sides as well. I'm really building a whole trough here for the water, you know, to travel in, okay? once I set that cement, I got it patted down, just a nice layer on the bottom and coming up the sides, and I'm putting all my rock in the side, okay, on both sides. I'm setting all the boulders and stone, flat stones, whatever it may be in here, okay. Then I come back and I set flat pieces of rock in the cement in the center. We stagger them all out, okay. I could put, you know, in a place where it gets a little wider, I can put a big rock in here so the water comes down and splits around it. Whatever, get creative, all right. Once I have my big flat pieces set in, then I take river stone, maybe 1 to 3 inch river stone gravel. Smaller stuff, 3/4, you can use too, but it doesn't seem to stick in the cement as well over time. Larger pieces, you know, 1 to 3s, you know, inch and a half rock is great. Set all those round river stone pieces in between the big flat pieces, okay? And it makes it look more natural. Covers up more of the cement, makes it look a little more natural, like there's rock and stuff in there. Now, the advantage of this is that all the water and all the sediment flows over the top, okay? It'll still get a nice green slime coat in it. It'll still look natural later on as, you know, as everything weathers in, all right? But the advantage is this stays clean. There's no sediment and mud and sludge and muck that's building up in my rocks. Everything is flowing right out, okay? If any sediment or dirt or leaves or something accumulate anywhere here on the stream, all we need to do is take a little water hose and just spray it down and wash it down. It's really easy, okay? Big difference in maintenance, all right? So this way my water is flowing over the top of the rock and not through it. And any sediment and debris is going back down into the pond and then hopefully back down my bottom drains and into my filter tank. Okay, the ponds stay really clean. When you have rock, it's just building, collecting all that sediment and sludge. All right, so that's a real big difference with why I do cement on it. Now, I said it in my waterfall video, I'll reiterate it again. I have never had a problem with putting cement in my ponds for my waterfalls, my streams, or even my rock ledges to secure boulders around the side of the pond using cement. All right, I've never had an issue with water quality. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've never had an issue with water quality or any chemicals or anything killing the fish. All right. I get it, I understand the concern, but all I can tell you, I've done this for 25 years, I've never had a problem doing it, all right? You know, after we set all the cement and the rocks and the river and the whole bit, usually before I fill my pond up with water and we get everything running, I hose everything down, I wash it all down. And keep in mind that this cement now is dry and hard. All right, this is not, you know, new fresh cement that I'm putting water over and all the chemicals are leaching out into the water. This is hard cement. After a couple days, wash it all down with a water hose. Any little, you know, pebbles, sand, whatever's left, we'll wash it all down, clean everything up, fill our pond up with water, turn on our pumps, and we're ready to go. All right. Again, with streams, the sky's the limit, okay? It's up to you and your creativity to do whatever you want. Again, keep scale in mind, okay? If you have a little pond that's, you know, 6 foot by 8 foot, you probably don't want to put a 40-foot stream on it, right? Maybe a 10, 12-foot stream with a little bridge over it or something like that, okay? It depends on their situation. Maybe you do a waterfall, you know, 20 feet back off your pond, and halfway between your waterfall and your pond, maybe you have a little bridge going over the stream, and then, you know, you can walk over, you stand on your bridge and see your waterfall over there, and look on this side and see the water going back down, you know, to your pond. A lot of nice things we can do with it. you know, just be creative. Try to make it look as natural as possible, right? Not just straight ahead. You know, some wider areas, some thinner areas, some big boulders set in, some smaller rocks set in, some gravel or something on the sides. Now, when our rock is up here, okay, I talked about putting cement inside this liner and coming up the walls and packing our rock against the side, right, as our border, so all the water runs here. Now, what we want to do on the outside is our dirt's probably halfway up or a little ways up here, or maybe it's not at all. Maybe we have to put all rock back here, whether it's gravel or rock, whatever. Big boulders set in the back. You have a big boulder in the front here, put a big one in the back over here, and small stuff around it. Back it with stone, right? And then we're going to cap it to cover, you know, in between here and here. We're either going to cap it with some flat pieces, maybe put some gravel in between, some smaller rock. We're going to cap all this. And then you can blend it out, plant landscape behind it, anything you want to do. Okay? I think that really gives you a pretty good idea of how to build the rivers and streams. I hope you enjoyed the pictures in the back. There's a whole bunch of pictures back here. You know, between waterfalls and the rivers and streams, that they're the two big additions we can add on to our pond to really give it some interest. And you know, anything's possible with this stuff. It's just a matter of budget, space, and elevation, right? Streams, we need elevation. It has to go, you know, from a higher point down to a lower point. Nice size pump gives you more water flow, gives you more effect. Okay, you will find that in the streams you're going to find birds coming down, taking drinks, taking baths, you know, frogs hanging out. It's really pretty cool. All right. Oh, just keep in mind too, between waterfalls and streams, just a little side note, is like water lilies. If you're putting water lilies in your pond, water lilies like more calm water. They don't like to be next to splashing, you know, heavy running water. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing a big stream and you got, you know, 8,000 gallons an hour coming down this stream, and when you get back to the pond, you want to put water lilies, might not be the best thing, right? Because the water's going to just push those lilies aside, and a waterfall, the water's splashing on the leaves constantly, and the leaves will tend to rot quicker because all the water is sitting on the leaves and splashing on them constantly. So, but other than that, you fish love the waterfalls and the streams where the water returns back to the pond. You'll often find the fish underneath it, whether they're looking for food, you know, something to wash down the stream, or they're actually just liking the little hydro massage they're getting from the water splashing back, you know, into their pond. So it's pretty cool. And it's a great source of oxygen, right? It's a great way to oxygenate your pond in the summer, you know, when the weather's really warm. And be very careful in the winter. Please check out my videos on seasonal care when it comes to the winter and summer, as far as oxygenating in the summer and freezing and problems in the winter. Check those videos out and get some information on that. Okay, I think we're good. Again, don't use spray foam in here. Use cement. The spray foam does not last. It will leak. And do not just put loose gravel on the bottom of these riverbeds, because all they do is collect mud and silt. It will help to filter your pond for a while until it gets so clogged up with crap that it's all just going to be washing back into the pond, and you have weeds and stinky stuff growing and algae growing in it everywhere, and then these rivers become a real mess. So look at what I'm doing here. Look at these pictures. I hope you get inspired a little bit. And thanks for watching. Please check out my website, pondscapesandmore.com. I have a ton of pictures and photos of ponds and jobs and waterfalls and streams and landscaping and everything I've done over the last 25 years. And take a look at it. I hope you enjoy it. And please hit the subscribe button. I'll give you more and more videos on more and more topics. And thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back soon. Take care. Thank you.